I hate The Exorcist because I found it very boring, tedious. Oh wow, a girl masturbating. Ooh, I can see that on YouTube. I know it's a movie of its time, but I'm not from that time. So I can't, unless I take a time machine and then wipe out my memory and then see it back in 1973 or whatever, then, you know what, I have to make an honest opinion. And I was bored out of my mind. I didn't find it shocking, I didn't find it scary, I found it too long, I found it too boring. Sue me. I know you asked a question over here too. Do you like Steven Spielberg as a director, or do you like his films, the Indiana Jones films, Jurassic 1 and 2, or his other films? You'd probably be better if you separate your sentences, because you have like one long-on sentence, but, you know, just a suggestion. Steven Spielberg as a director, yeah, I like him alright. It's alright. You know, I don't mind Steven Spielberg as a director. I love the Indiana Jones films, including Part 4. A lot of people hate that movie, but I enjoy it. Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, I saw that in the theater on my birthday. Yeah, I enjoy those. Do I like all of his films? No, I don't care for Always. 1941 is alright. I hate Hook. I think Hook is fucking boring. You know, so I mean, I like War of the Worlds. Not the biggest fan of Minority Report. I found that a little bit boring. Has one or two good scenes. That's it, in my opinion. So overall, I like him. Mel Brooks. The only thing I like of his is probably Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, and a little bit of Young Frankenstein. That's about it for Mel Brooks. I don't like History of the World. I don't like, Young Frankenstein I like a little bit, but not a whole lot. You know, his other films, I'm not the big. I like Blazing Saddles. I like Spaceballs, but the other Mel Brooks, well, Robert Mantis, Dracula didn't love it. They're okay once again, but his other films like History of the World and I haven't seen Silent Movie or High Anxiety. I didn't want to, but yeah, really, I mean, Young Frankenstein is alright, and the others, Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles I like. The rest, yeah. Do you like animated films like The Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast? Do you like Pixar films and DreamWorks animated films? It depends on the movie. Plain and simple, it depends on the movie. If it's a shitty movie, I hate it. I mean, when I saw The Lion King, yeah, I found it alright. Do I own it? No. Do I care if I own it? No. So, like Aladdin, like I saw him as a kid, I enjoyed it alright, but then I'm like, oh, whoop-de-doo, you know, I liked them, but not enough to buy them. The few is of Pixar. The only ones I have that I really enjoyed was Kung Fu Panda, and I really enjoyed WALL-E. I mean, WALL-E was a really great flick. And I've seen Shreks and Toy Story. I mean, I've enjoyed them all right. There hasn't really been one that I've absolutely hated. It's just, you know, they're good rental. I watch them and I don't need to buy them. Again, the only ones I can buy is Kung Fu Panda and what was that? WALL-E. You know, that's it. Next question is Res Evil 13. It says, hey Matt, I was wondering your thoughts on the Rob Zombie's remake of The Blob. I knew you were a big fan of Chuck Russell's 1988 version. I was just kind of curious as to what your outlook on this new film may be. Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm still doing my 69 favorite horror films. The Blob remake is probably in my top 5. Yeah, it is actually in my top 5. That's how much I love the film. This Rob Zombie is gonna suck. You know, Rob Zombie, what's he gonna do? Make a blob that's redneck? I'm gonna skull fuck you and then eat you alive. You know, he's gonna make the blob talk, and he's gonna get some type of, hey, I'm gonna fuck you and fuck him and fuck it. You know, he's gonna get every fucks all the time. We're gonna fucking kill that fucking piece of fucking jelly shit, and then we're gonna skull fuck it, and then we're gonna fuck it in the ass, and then we're gonna fuck it in the pussy, and then we're gonna fuck it in the fucking. And people think, oh wow, you're being nasty. That's how doing what his dialogue does. They're on PC, and that's how they do it. That's their lines. They do say, "I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, I'm gonna fuck you," and they do say, "I'm gonna go fuck you straight to hell." You know, that's his dialogue. I'm just repeating it, verbatim. And that's what Rob Zombie's going to do. He makes every film into a redneck movie. And you know what? I'm getting tired of it. I didn't like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Rob Zombie. Devil's Rejects, I find it overrated. And House of Thousand Corpses, I found alright. Rob Zombie's Halloween was shit, in my opinion. To me. So, you know what? The Blob remake is going to be shitty. It's going to be CGI. And it's going to be people, you know, he's going to make the Blob because, oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think it's going to be shitty. It's going to suck, and it's going to fucking suck. So, next up is Wayne Luss, L-U-S-S. I hope I got it right. Who has a nice background picture of the Ninja Turtles. That's very nice, since I'm a big fan of that. And it actually seems like it's his favorite film. That's cool. Always nice to see another fan. So, saw you tuning in. I thought I'd post a couple questions for you. If I go overboard, no, you're not going overboard. You're fine. How would you feel about Ninja Turtles Origins Casey Jones movie? I would hate it because I don't, you know, Casey Jones, Elias Koteas is playing well in the first movie, even in part 3. Guy doesn't deserve a whole movie. I think it would be boring. You know, I'm not watching Ninja Turtles for fucking April and Casey Jones. I'm watching it for the Turtles. That was my problem with the CGI movie. They concentrated so much on fucking Casey and April and shitty ass villains and, you know, a bunch of other problems. Number 2, you say, since my favorite turtle is Michelangelo, I've noticed that the movies don't seem to give a shit about him. The only time they seemed to give him a damn was in part 3 when he was with Mitsu, and that was bullshit because he's not with her enough for you to buy them as friends who hate to leave each other. Do you think Michelangelo got screwed in the movies? That's pretty funny you say that. I don't know if he remembers, and I did a commentary for part 3, and I was kind of thinking, well, what the fuck, you know? They met like for 2 seconds, all of a sudden. I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I can get what you mean. But I don't know. It's just my favorite Michelangelo is the movies because the voice was perfect. And I don't know. I thought he got a lot to do in, you know, at least he did a little in part 1. He has moments, and that they did have one moment that was cut out with him being pissed. I'm sure he knows about that, how, you know, he was pissed off with the punching bag. Because you remember in the first movie, April drew Donatello, she drew Leonardo, but where's her drawing of Michelangelo? Obviously, they probably put that in, and it's actually cut out. And if you have the adaptation, the comic, they actually show that she did draw Michelangelo, and that he had a scene where he was angry. And this is, you know, a loving, you know, sort of comic relief person. I don't know, they cut it out for whatever reason. Probably never see the light of day. But I don't know, I mean, in part 2, he had a lot to do. It was mainly comedy. But, you know, he had fun, and he had, you know, I always thought part 2 is a little bit like Mikey's movie because, you know, he had some of the good lines. He had a lot of center stage points. Maybe he means drama. I think that's what he means, drama, but really, the only one, I guess, they don't really get a lot of attention to drama with any of the characters, except maybe Raphael in the first one, but then in the second half they dropped the ball. And so, I mean, the movies, I get what you mean. The CGI movie, they didn't do shit with them. I get what you mean. It's hard to say you got screwed in the movies because I thought Robbie Riss did a great job with the voice. He was very funny, and he had a lot of memorable lines, you know. He had probably the most memorable lines of any of those guys, you know. You know, he said, "I love being a turtle." He said, you know, I think, you know, Robbie Riss really made those work. So, you know, I wouldn't say he got screwed in the movies. I would say he got screwed in that movie, which you can't see because it's dark. That's CGI one. He got screwed in that one. And yeah, I mean, I would like in the new movie that they, I don't know, had like Raphael and Mikey as sort of like, you know, like a buddy cop. They're not cop, but that sort of buddy mentality. They're sort of like the, you know, Donnie's the brain, Leo's the leader. You think they're the ones who are going to get out. They get captured, and these two who people don't really give a shit about. Oh, the rebel who fucks up, the jokester, whatever. They don't do anything with them. And then those two actually rise up and, you know, kick some ass. They'll never do that, but I think that'd be a great movie. I probably didn't answer your question right, but I'm trying.